So, hi guys, today I'm going to answer all the activities in chapter 6. So, first I'm going to find the activity in chapter 6. So, the first activity in chapter 6 is in page 6126 entitled IP characteristics. So, in the instruction, it says here that read each IP characteristic, then click connection list, best effort, or media independent to indicate its delivery method. So I'm going to pick which of the connection list, best effort, and media independent is. So in the so I think on the connection list, there's no end-to-end connection is created in the data before the data is created before the data is sent. So and for the best effort, I think there's no guarantee that all packets are that are delivered are impact received. So and for the media independent, I think the IP operates independently of the media that carry the data at lower layers of the protocol stacks. So now I'm going to answer this. The IP characteristic, the first is, will adjust the size of the packet sent depending on what type of network access will be used. So I think it's will adjust the packet sent. So I think it's the media independent. Next one is, will send a packet even if the destination host is not able to receive it. I think it's in connectionless. No contact is made with the destination host before sending a packet. No contact for this. So I think it's in also connectionless. So this does not guarantee that the packet will be delivered fully without errors. So it's in this because in the best effort, it's not guaranteed. Fiber optics, cabling, satellite, and wireless can all be used to route the same packet. So I think it's in media independent. Packet is not deli- Packet delivery is not guaranteed. So I think it's in the best effort. So it's all correct. So now I'm going to find another activity. So now let's find another activity. So the other activity is in page 6133 entitled IPv4 header field. So now let's go answer this. So the instruction says here that read each IPv4 header function and then click the IPv4 header field to which it belongs. So like what I did on the previous activity, I'm going to click which IPv4 header field to which it belongs. So identifies the IP so first on identify the IP address of the recipient host. I think because of the recipient host, I think it's the destination IP address. Yeah, because of the always set to 0100 for IPv4. Um, I think it's because of the internet protocol IPv4 internet protocol version 4. I think it's the version commonly referred to as the hop count. I think it's time. to leave. Next one is identify the upper layer protocol to be used next. Upper layer protocol. So, protocol itself, it's protocol. Identify the IP address of the sending host. I think because of the sending host, because it's IP address of the sending host, of course, it's the source IP address. Identifies the priority of each packet. The last one that I think, of course, it's the differentiated services. The differentiated services, it's formally formerly called type of services. So this. So it's correct. Now going to find another activity. For the next activity, so the next activity that I find is in page 6146 entitled IPv6 header fields. So it says here in the instruction that read each IPv6 header description and then click the IPv6 header field to which it belongs. So again, just like on the previous activity. So first one is always set to 0110. So I think it's because I think it's the version because it identifies this as an IP version 6 packet. So yeah, this identifies the application type to the um, upper layer protocol. I think it's so, and for the identify the protocol type of the upper layer, I think it's identify the type of the upper layer. It's the next header. When the value reaches the 0, the sender is notified that the packet was not delivered. So from the word itself reaches 0, I think it's the hop limit. And next is classifies packet to congestion control. I think it's congestion control. I think it's from the word itself, classify traffic class types of the packet that receive the same type of handling that packet receive the same type. I think it's the flow level identifies the size of the data portion of the packet. So of course it's the because of the size it's the length. So it's correct. Now we're going to answer find another activity. So the next activity, I'm going to find the next activity. So the next activity is in page 6228, entitled Identify Elements of the Routing Table Entry. So the instruction says that part- partial routing table entry is shown. Each section of the entry is identified by a circle letter above it. Select the correct routing table entry section of each output. So for the A it has D, for the B 192.168.1.024. For C is 90 30 and 72, and D by 198.168.3.1, and E 000603, and the F gig Gigabyte Ethernet 00. For the first one, the elapsed time since the network was discovered. So I think elapsed time since the network is discovered. So it's the only, I think it's letter E. 0. So letter E. And next one, the administrative distance and metric to reach the remote network. Think it's C. How the network was learned by the router. It's letter A, I think. And show the destination network. So I think it's in letter B. Um, the next hop IP address to reach the remote network. I think it's in letter D. The outgoing interface of the router to reach the destination network. The last letter F. I hope it's correct. So let's check. So yeah, it's correct. So now I'm going to find another activities in this chapter. So another activity in this chapter is in the page 6317, identify router components. So the instruction says description of router function and hardware parts are provided in the table. Drag each router component name to its function description. So we have here the WAN interface, AOX port, LAN interface, Telnet or SSH console port. So the first one is connect routers to external network, usually over a large distance. So I think it's a WAN interface because of wide area network. A way to remote. Next one is a way to remotely access the CLI access network interface. So I think it's this one, Telnet SSH or SSH. Connects computers, switches, and routers for internal networking. Connect is the console port, I think. A local port which uses USB or low-speed serial connection to manage network devices. Of course, from the world itself, local. So I think it's the local area network. And because the one interface is in the external network and LAN interface is the internal. No, it's this one. Yeah. Next one, a port to manage routers using telephone lines and modems. Though the last one is AOX port. So let's see if it's correct. So yeah. Now, I'm going to find another activity in chapter 6. So the next activity in chapter 6, this one, the instruction says, drag each of the step on the left to appropriate field in the table on the right to show the router boost process order. So step by step. So in the step 1, I think it's the first step is perform post. Hardware check performed by the built-in ROM. And I think for the next one is the load bootstrap. For the next one is the load iOS. And for the last one, I think it's the plush. So, so it's correct. So this, let's see if there's another activity in this chapter. So yeah, I think that's the last activity in chapter 6. So guys, thank you for watching and I hope you learned something new, and again, thank you for watching guys.